Yo, let's get into the end of day for today with three trade recaps, two on USD CAD and another one on Euro USD. So, as I previously mentioned, USD CAD is bullish, right? Heavily bullish, so I am aggressive on that, right? Aggressively looking for buys. And so coming into this morning after the Asian session, right, we had an IBOS up here, IBOS up, right? Two zones to choose from, right? The reaction after the IBOS down here, pivot zone, nice clear zone, right? That was my first zone I was looking for, and then the second zone was the pivot zone of the pullback on the internal. Cool. So as it comes in here, USD CAD, obviously I go for the entire zone, right? Going for 5R since it was pro swing, pro internal as well. Right, and then I take that, or 2 hours later it just moves down, right? Knocks me out. Okay, cool. After it knocks me out, the alert was down here, right before the zone, looking for L2CA coming into this M50-minute zone. Don't get that, and then the market pushes higher, right? Nice momentum, pushes higher. As it comes into the high, right, we have a nice pullback in here, which is a clear reaction, moving up. So then come the New York session, I was looking for buys within the zone over here, which would have been there, right? I was looking for buys in there, and then yeah, unfortunately it just goes ahead and actually you see I made a mistake here. I made a mistake. Fuck. This shouldn't have been a second loss. USD CAD actually made a mistake. I'm noticing now something that I actually wanted to touch on, which was all three trades. I didn't actually follow the the plan, right? And by follow the plan, I don't mean that I just took willingly bad trades. Not that I took bad trades. I didn't do my pre-entry process, right? And had I did the pre-entry process, I would have noticed that this is in fact a chalk, right? This is a chalk over here because there's a clear pullback and then a move up, right? Making this a chalk. And as always, if I get a chalk before the M50-minute zone, I then switch to look for M5 LC2A, which clearly there was no M5 LC2A in here, which means this wouldn't have actually been a loss, right, had I actually seen that. So yeah, I don't want to say a small lapse in judgment, but a lapse in judgment regardless, right? So I'll get to the course correction for that, right? That is bad actually, because then one, it's not addressing one of the major issues I've had right over the past months, which has been the documentation of all trades, right? I should actually be documenting these thoroughly, right? So times like tomorrow where I need to go back and like not necessarily nitpick, but actually nitpick all my trades, right? Look at the percentage of actual valid trades, actual good trades and stuff like that compared to my actual results. Plus I don't even have the missed trades, right, for me to have a comparison of where the system is performing versus where I am performing, right? So yeah, those are some of the things I need to heavily address, like as we start the third quarter today. Those are some of the things I really need to address for the next coming 3 months, 6 months, and then by the end of the year, then there should be a huge difference in the documentation of trades, right? That needs to change a whole lot. So second trade actually was not valid, so this 1R loss was unnecessary to say the least. GU, I was looking for sells. Of course, we had the sweep of the M15 swing high, right, as it has broken now. Before we did have the sweep on the right, so obviously I was looking for sells in here. Came into this M15 zone. I'm not interested in buys as of now, as we're coming into the strong swing high, and then it just shot up. Same with Euro USD, which then ends up with me taking a loss. This loss, fuck me, actually fuck me sideways, bro, because what the fuck, I just took 2 unnecessary losses. Again with Euro USD, not a valid trade simply because of the chalk. Because of the chalk, I then have to wait for the M15 LC2A. But I set my orders, and then I left the room. I didn't check these, man. So actually 2 unnecessary losses. The only valid loss was the USD CAD from London session. Jesus, man. Okay, that's 2 horrible losses. Again, same issue of before the trade is taken, right? I should make a note of this. Even if, let's say, even if it's a risk trade, I need to set the alert before it's triggered, right? Before it's triggered, so that I can check my pre-entry checklist, right? Even if it's a risk trade, I need the alert. What? Even if it's a risk trade, the alert before it's triggered. What the fuck am I saying, man? Even if it's a risk trade, I need an alert. I need an alert before it's triggered so that I can check my pre-entry checklist. Yes, that makes sense. Okay, I'll put that into Notion and do another course correction on that, because it's now 2 invalid trades actually. I don't know, actually, does it go back to the frequency? The frequency of when I check charts, of when I check charts, because I think there is also a problem in my frequency of checking the charts, right? Should I be checking the charts like I don't want to do every 15-minute interval. I feel like that's gonna lead to over trading, but I actually should, because I think I have enough self-control to do that. 15-minute intervals, because I mainly trade on the M15, so I need to know what every M15 minute candle does. Right, 15-minute intervals, because it is from 8 a.m. to 12, which is 4 hours, and then from 2 p.m. to 5, maybe 6 p.m. So it's like a 4-hour block, and then a 4-hour block of M15-minute intervals. Right. So I'll just look into that. But yeah, two actually invalid losses plus one valid loss on USD CAD, which I'd say I did everything to the book, right? Did everything to the book, take a loss, that's perfect, it's fine. But then taking two invalid losses, that hurts, right? Because it does hurt the baseline, and this is the type of shit I need to get rid of in the next 6 months, right? Next 3 months, less of these, man. The curve changes, so just less of these, I guess, is the lesson of today. And yeah, peace.